Hey, what's going on everyone? Trav here with Chaotic Strategies. Hey, today I wanted to kind of go over with you guys a couple of the new mechanics that came out with the Ikoria Lair of Behemoths box set, and on top of those two mechanics, just a overview of all of the creature keyword abilities for those of you that are new to the game of Magic like myself. If you guys are new to the channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell so that way you guys are always notified when I post new videos. So in the Ikoria Lair of Behemoths box set, they actually integrated two new mechanics into the game, which in my opinion are phenomenal. There's a lot of great things that you can do with these. The first one is Mutate. So pretty much what you're going to do is if you have a creature card that says Mutate, you're going to pay that cost, and then you can either overlay that card onto another creature that you control onto the field, or underlay it underneath another creature card that you control, and it gains those abilities of that card. So if you overlay it onto a creature card, it's going to inherit that ability. So if it has flying or whatever, vigilance, whatever, it's going to take that on as its own. And if you underlay it, then the creature that you underlaid with is going to gain that mutate ability or reach ability, and so on and so forth. So it kind of gives you more options when playing the game. The other new mechanic that came out with this set is companion. So you get one companion card in your deck, and as long as your deck meets the restrictions on that companion card, you pretty much take that card out of your deck and you set it off to the side of your deck, and then you can pay 3 mana to bring it off the side of the field and into your hand, and then you can play it from there, activating its effects and abilities for its mana cost and so forth. And you can only do that once per game. So if that card gets exiled from the game, you cannot bring it back unless you have other cards in your deck that you can pull back from exile. So those are the two mechanics coming out of the Ikoria box set that kind of adds to the game itself. And I mean, from what I've seen so far, some of these, just like everything else in the game of Magic, can be broken. I mean, just wicked loop effects, stuff like that. So going into rest of some of the creature keyword abilities, again, these are for the new players, people who want to get into Magic or are struggling with the game. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown on the rest of what all these different abilities do for the creature. So the first one I'm going to start with is Deathtouch. Deathtouch is pretty much a instant kill. So any amount of damage that you deal, if any, is still going to be able to kill your opponent's creature. So I mean, Deathtouch, there's a lot of variations of cards from, you know, low power to high power. Obviously you want Deathtouch to be on some of your higher powered cards that can really take the damage, but also if you're looking just to get rid of creatures off the field, you can use some of those lower creatures to start kind of attacking your opponent's monsters to get them off the field. So Deathtouch is pretty much an instant kill. The Defender ability is this creature just cannot attack. It's specifically for defending only. A lot of the times you're going to have these creatures have a higher toughness over power, and that's pretty simple with the Defender. They can't attack, they can only defend. Your double strike creatures, they're going to deal both first strike and regular damage. So a creature with double strike acts as first strike, so it's going to deal out that damage before your opponent's damaged creature does, and then it's going to deal out regular damage as well. So you have potential chance to hit your opponent twice for damage. Moving into first strike, you're going to deal damage to creatures, or you're going to deal the damage before the creatures without first strike do. So let's say you're battling a creature, or your creature is 2/2, and you're battling a creature that's a 4/2, your creature is going to deal that damage to your opponent's creature first without dying. So that 2/2 is going to pretty much cancel out for you, destroying your opponent's creature. allowing you to keep that lesser creature on the field. The next one is Flash. You'll have a lot of creatures that have this ability of Flash, and what Flash means is that you can play it during your turn or your opponent's turn. So a lot of creatures with the Flash ability allow you to kind of spam onto the field during your opponent's turn, again, as long as you have the mana cost to do so. Creatures with flying can only be blocked by other creatures with flying or reach. Nothing else can block them when they attack, which makes them very difficult to battle against, especially if you don't have any creatures in your deck with flying. The other thing with creatures with flying is that they can block all other creatures on the field, which makes them kind of unfair in a sense. Nothing else can block them, but they can block everything. But still, it just makes it so that way you can, you know, better build your deck around that ability. Creatures with the Haste ability, they can attack and tap as soon as they hit the field. So normally when you're playing, when a creature comes onto the field, they get their sickness, so which means you cannot attack or tap them as soon when they first hit the field. You have to wait till your next turn. Creatures with Haste don't have to worry about that. You can immediately attack and tap them as soon as they hit the field. Hexproof, creatures with Hexproof cannot be targeted by spells or abilities, which is very handy, especially if you're coming across somebody who's running instances, a lot of sorceries, stuff like that. They cannot be targeted by those cards. Indestructible pretty much speaks for itself. Indestructible cannot be destroyed. These creatures cannot be destroyed by other cards that specifically say destroy, or like your normal battle phase. When you go into battle, typically your monster would get destroyed if it lost that battle. This one does not. You would just take the damage and that monster stays on the field. Lifelink. So any damage that you deal to your opponent, you're going to gain that same amount of damage in life points to yourself. So very straightforward. Again, if you can build a deck that's pretty much all based around lifelink and you can deal mass amounts of damage, every damage that you deal out, you're going to gain back in life points for yourself. Menace. Creatures with Menace cannot be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, which is very, very handy. So if you're playing somebody who can spam creatures out onto the field and you've got only a few creatures onto the field but they have Menace, it requires your opponent to take 2 monsters to block 1, which is very nice, and it kind of opens it up so you can get direct damage to your opponent. Reach. Creatures with Reach can block flying creatures. So you don't have to really rely on having a deck full of just flying creatures. You can have creatures with Reach as well to help block your opponent that does have flying. Trample. Trample deals excess damage after being blocked. So let's say you have a 6/6 creature and you're battling a 4/4 creature. You're going to destroy their creature, obviously, but the excess damage, that extra 2, is going to be taken to your opponent directly. Creatures without Trample, that excess damage just gets null and void. Creature gets destroyed, pass turn, you're done. But with Trample, you can deal that excess damage straight to your opponent. And for the last creature keyword ability that we have that's in the game of Magic the Gathering is Vigilance. And Vigilance is a phenomenal ability. It allows you to not have to tap when you attack. So normally when you attack, you have to tap your creature to attack, and then it cannot block next turn. Having Vigilance, you're able to attack without having to tap, and that way next turn you can use that same creature to defend if you need to, which makes Vigilance one of my favorite abilities in this game, not having to tap those creatures. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what other videos you would like to see. If you guys would like to support the channel, I also have our TCG Player affiliate link down in the description box. It's no extra cost to you. Just go on there, buy whatever you would like to, and in turn that helps support our channel. I hope you guys are being safe out there. Be sure to wash your hands, and we'll see you in the next video.